لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, first we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and selected us to be in the Mubarak house of Allah to perform our Maghrieb Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We ask Allah to accept our salah and to grant us sincerity and istiqamah. Ameen. Rabbil Alameen. This evening, a beautiful hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This, the wording of this hadith gives a person an understanding or gives a person appreciation for how Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught his ummah and how he wants us to look at things and how he wants us to reflect over the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and connect it to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this hadith, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is narrated on Muhammad ibn Maslamata radiallahu anhu. He said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that inna li rabbikum azza wa jal fi ayyami dahrikum nafahat. That indeed he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as breezes which he sends as blessed times. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is breezes, the lovely breeze we experience today. Now Rasul sallallahu says Allah is breezes which he sends throughout the day for us to take benefit from it. And now when the beauty of the examples of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when we experience, like for example today, all of us without denying it, we enjoyed the lovely cool breeze after the few days of the heat. Today we experience, everyone was walking outside and said, alhamdulillah, today the wind is nice and cool, refreshing to the mind and refreshing to the body. Right? So physical, we experience a physical upliftment. We feel uplifted through the breeze. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this hadith is not speaking about the breeze that we experience today. Rather, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam refers to these breezes of Allah as spiritual breezes that come. And these breezes don't only come yearly, it comes daily. For example, at the time of Fajr, a spiritual breeze. At the time of Tahajjud, spiritual breezes which comes from Allah, and Allah sent to this ummah. At the time of Isha, spiritual breezes, and we find on a weekly basis Allah sent the Jumu'ah, for example, as a breeze, spiritual breeze. On a yearly basis, we experience these breezes, and we've entered one of those important breezes, and that is the month of Rajab, which is referred to the Shahrullah, the month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is the ulama refer to it as the month in which our Salafus Salih say the month in which we plant our seed. And the Sha'ban is the month we water that seed, and the month of Ramadan is the month we harvest and we benefit from that seed. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reminding us, and like how we expose and how we go outside to experience the lovely breezes that physically cools us down, Allah Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَتَعَرَّضُوا لَهَا. Expose yourself to these breezes. And this is for us to ponder over, that expose yourself to these breezes, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you know that Fajr time is a spiritual breeze we experience, it's at the time, Tahajjud time is a breeze spiritually which comes from Allah that carries blessing and barakat. Am I exposing myself to the breeze like how I expose myself outside? Am I spending time like how I spend outside, experiencing the coolness of the breeze? Am I experiencing that spiritual uplifting feeling when I engage in using this time which Allah has blessed us with? So the month of Rajab, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, there's 2 months before the month of Ramadan. It is a month to prepare for the month of Ramadan. And in the ayah where Allah speaks about the sacred months, the 4 sacred months, as you know, that Rajab is one of the sacred months. Allah gives us an instruction and says, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. They do not oppress, cause injustice upon yourself. Meaning, do not harm yourself. So the first preparation we do is we need to abstain from all of the sins that we do, all of the wrong that we do. And one alim was explained, this is when one of the students came to this teacher and he asked his teacher that, "Oh, my beloved teacher, give me a remedy. How can I become a wali of Allah? What can I do to become a friend of Allah? Give me, write down a few things I can do to become a wali of Allah." And he nagged and he continuously asked the teacher. And so the teacher replied, "Come here, my student, let me teach you something. Instead of worrying about what to do, let me tell you one thing you mustn't do, and that is to abstain from sin. Don't commit sin. If you abstain, if you don't commit sin, you become a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." So Allah instructs us because why? The month of Rajab, the month of Sha'ban, the month of Ramadan, it is a month in which evil deeds, it weighs more. Evil deeds, it weighs more by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like how we speak about good deeds, 10 times multiplied. Likewise, the ulama mentioned when it comes to our evil deeds, because it's a sacred month, the crime is worse in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like how this is the time we need to fill our scale. We need to see how much am I putting on my scale of good deeds. I remember now that we're traveling as the Mu'tamirin, they came, the greatest concern, all of the Mu'tamirin, those who are on Umrah, the greatest concern is, I'm going to be overweight. Everyone is worried about the scale and they're going to weigh the bag. I need to be under 23 kilos or 30 kilos, whatever the case may be. I said, at that moment, I was thinking, Ya Allah, imagine the day of Qiyamah, how much do we reflect over the scale on the day of Qiyamah? Do we fear that scale on the day of Qiyamah? Do we fear the fact that we will be underweight in terms of our good deeds and overweight in terms of our evil deeds? So this, my beloved brothers, is Rasulullah in this beautiful hadith. It says that Allah sent breezes throughout our time, throughout the day, throughout the year, throughout the month. We need to expose ourselves, as Rasulullah to these spiritual breezes which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends. And then says Rasulullah sallallahu لَعَلَّ أَحَدَكُمْ أَن تُصِيبَهُ مِنْهَا نَفْحَةٌ يشقى لا يشقى بعدها أبدا. It might be that you expose yourself to one of these breezes, and it might be because of you exposing yourself to the spiritual breeze, Allah puts it and Allah makes it such that you won't be sad ever again after that. Meaning you will live a life of happiness. Allah just saying you won't have difficulty, you will have difficulty, but Allah will grant you through the difficulty, still you will be pleased with Allah. Through the difficulty, still you will remember Allah. Allah will give you an understanding of the trials and the difficulties of this dunya. So my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, the message tonight is when we walk out of the masjid, and wherever we are, we experience the cold breeze or the lovely breeze, we should remind ourselves, ask myself the question that how many of the spiritual breezes am I enjoying which Allah on a daily basis sent to us? Allah sent to us on a daily basis. How much of it am I taking for granted? Am I investing for the akhirah? So we ask Allah to make us of those who will use our time and for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Use our time, perform good deeds that will weigh heavy on the day of Qiyamah. We ask Allah to give us a tawfiq and understanding. Wa akhir da'wan alhamdulillah.